I've gotten a lot of questions lately about how I get a lot done during the regular work week and still talk about rest. So if that's been you, today is your lucky day. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I batch my work into theme days. Welcome to another episode on the Ashlyn Writes channel. My name is Ashlyn Carter. I am a calligrapher and copywriter, and I love to talk to creative entrepreneurs like you about how to work from a place of a little more rest and a little less hustle. All right, before we dive into this theme date thing, make sure you hit subscribe on this channel. I make new videos every Friday, and I would love to have you back for the next one. The tool that we use to project manage in my business is called Trello. There's so many good ones out there. That's the one that has happened to work best for us. If you're interested in snagging a sample of a board we turn to all the time, our company guidebook board, then look below in the description box and you can grab that. If you've ever looked at somebody else and wondered how they get so much done, then this is for you. And I'm not talking about that Beyonce meme about having the same number of hours in a day as her. I'm talking about somebody who is a little bit more on par when it comes to energy, time, resources, and even money as you. How do they get so much done in what looks like the same amount of time that you have? If it seems like you're always busy and never making progress and that is leading to burnout, then this is also for you. So Captain Obvious, but distractions are a big reason that our productivity gets shot and time gets lost. You probably knew that, but did you know that this is due to a concept called task switching, sometimes called context switching? This is when you flip from one activity to doing another activity, and in that space, your brain has to play catch up contextually from this task to that task. Let me put it this way. You know how when you're working on something that you really enjoy and you kind of hit your stride, you're enjoying that work, you've entered that flow state, and it's actually kind of fun, and all of a sudden you get distracted? Maybe your phone goes off and you enter text volley conversation with your best friend, your dogs come running in the room and you stop to throw the ball a few times, or you all of a sudden remember that you have no milk, no bread, and if you don't put an Instacart order in now, there's going to be nothing on the table for dinner. A study by Dr. Gloria Mark, cited in Inc. magazine, found that it takes about 25 minutes for us to resume that state of flow after being distracted. Crazy, right? That same study found that we get distracted about every 1 minute and 15 seconds. Now that, unfortunately, was easier for me to believe because we live in a world where we're checking our phones upwards of 100 times a day. But I am not immune to any of this. In fact, I really have struggled with it in the past. I get new ideas constantly. I love to chit chat with my friends. I love to hop on social media, but probably as much as all of that, I love being off the clock, and I love ending the day spending time with my friends, my family, or even just doing something for me. So I want to tell you how I batch my days into themes and how I use that to stay focused, maintain my sanity, and get more done in less time. Caution as a side effect, doing this may lead you to feeling a little less burnout. I first heard the idea of theming your days from Coach Todd Herman in his 90-day year program. I'll link it below. Great use of time and money, but once I heard about it and I started doing some research, I realized it was a thing, I just didn't know about it yet. Essentially, the concept of theming your days revolves around picking one focus for every day and doing most, if not all, of that day's tasks revolving around that topic. This helps you keep the main thing the main thing. I'm going to tell you what I do for my batch days, but then I also want to give you a lot of other ideas because every business is different and what works for me isn't necessarily going to work for you. So just use this as a launching point for the themes that you could pick for your own days in business. Sundays are for personal growth. Go to church, come home, read, do some goal setting, and spend time with friends and family. Mondays are for marketing. Tuesdays are for client work. I pretty much don't even change out of my workout clothes those days because I write the whole day doing copywriting for our clients. Wednesdays are for product development. These are the days that I really listen to our clients and our students and look for ways to make our products and services even better, whether that is creating new courses or just making the ones that we already have better, adding items to the shop, making those products better, and listening to our clients and seeing how we can enhance our workflows for the one-on-one services we offer because those are products too. Thursdays are for meetings and client calls. Fridays are for finances and admin, as well as time for anything that has been in the week and not gotten finished yet, and Saturdays are for rest. Now here are some other ideas that I have run across. Writing day or content creation day, coaching call day, money day, management and team day. So if you have a team, that would be great to focus on them for a day. Administrative days, meeting day, relationship building and networking day, and I love this idea, but a thinking day where you spend time on education, thinking of your next big idea, journaling, taking some time off to give your brain some space to rest. So what does batching my task into theme days actually look like during a week? Well, first of all, it helps reduce decision fatigue, which I love. It takes the guesswork out of anything that comes across my desk or comes onto my plate. Let me give you a couple of examples. If Noelle, my bookkeeper, reaches out with a form or a task that she needs me to do, great, I put that on Friday's to-do list. If I all of a sudden have a brilliant idea for a blog post or a guest blog to pitch, then that goes on next Monday's tasks list. If a client needs to meet about something, we have time reserved for them on Thursdays, and that's when I'll schedule that call. I hope that makes sense. It's kind of like those wire bins that you have on your desk, and you just sort things by the bucket that they correlate into. 3 things as I wrap this up. The first is it is not a perfect system, and you need to be okay with that. It took me a good 3 months to go from when I first had this vision of what I wanted to do each day of the week and actually implementing that in a system that worked. The second thing is you need to give yourself some grace because not every week's tasks for each bucket are going to fit into the 4 or 8 or 9 or however many hours you're planning on working each day. They're not going to fit perfectly into that bucket. There are totally weeks where I have client work that goes past the 8 to 9 hours that I'll spend on client work that week. Also, obviously, if everybody had their batch call day on one day of the week, none of us would be able to have calls with each other, so you've got to give yourself a little bit of wiggle room there as well. The next is that I think you'll find it easier to start to say no to things, and that is a good thing. Michael Hyatt has said before that the more successful you become, the more inaccessible you need to become. I think batching my days just made me start to realize, oh, I don't have endless time to do all the things that I want to do. I can't take on every single coffee date that comes because I only have these times a week where I can fit them in. I can't create all the content I want to. I need to focus on making the best content in the time that I have. And I also realized if I was only spending 8-ish hours 4 times out of the month on client work, I needed to reduce the number of clients I was taking on and focus on serving those clients really well. The last tip I have for you is look for other ways to batch. I have a friend who does client work one week, works on her own business the next week, and just alternates those going so on and so forth. I have another friend that has a big podcast, and she will spend weeks at a time batch recording content. So maybe weeks work better for you than days. Additionally, you may find it where you want to batch your day's tasks. Gary Keller, who wrote The One Thing, talks about being a maker in the morning and a manager in the afternoon. So maybe that works for you. Maybe the first half of the day you want to spend on the creative task, the deep work thing, and then in the afternoon, that's when you're going to do your more mindless tasks, email checking, and that sort of thing. Our brilliant brains are built for focus, and just like perfectionism, multitasking isn't a thing either. Let your brain stay focused and in one lane at a time, and I promise you'll find that you get more done. So here is my challenge for you. See how you can implement batch theme days into your business as well. Make a list of the big buckets of things that you do every single week and put them into chunks and see what days those could fit on for you. Then try to schedule related activities only for those specific days. You may need to adjust as you do this, but you've got to start somewhere. You may find that in the beginning part of the week, you're more excited about work than you are at the end, so it's easier to do things like meetings and any kind of networking later in the week because the beginning of the week is when your brain really is on point. I would love to know how you have found themes and batching work in your business. I'm always looking for new pointers and love seeing how other people's businesses run. So if you have a theme or a batching system that works, tell me about it below in the comments. Don't forget to sign up for your sample swipe file Trello board. It is the company guidebook board, which is basically ground zero for our business that we use for everything from all the course logins that we've ever bought, team database, branding information, and links to that sort of thing, as well as all of our workflows. That link is available for you in the description box below. That's all for today, y'all. As always, thank you so much for tuning in and spending time here. If you found this video helpful, go ahead and give it a like. Would appreciate that. And go ahead, get out there and work from a place of rest, not hustle.